Is LA Knight finally going to grab that brass ring at Money in the Bank 2026, or will Obafemi snatch the briefcase only to cash it in for a human monies on a pole match against Danhausen? Today, we're making our picks for the men and women's Money in the Bank winners, but first, let's hit the opener.
This is Two Views Wrestling. Let's get into it.
Give me a hell yeah. What?
This is a little earlier. We don't even have the qualifying matches yet, but future bets always pay the most. So let's cash in on Money in the Bank. Tagging my partner in now, who do you have winning the men's Money in the Bank match?
Just a side note before I give my pick, I would like to see Gunther in the Money in the Bank this year. I think there's a cool dynamic there with Gunther being the ring general and the match sacred and this wrestler's wrestler. And then Nick Aldis telling him if he wants another opportunity for the WWE title, he's got to climb a ladder and get it. I think that would be an interesting dynamic to the match. Ultimately, for my winner, I want Dirty Dom. I think out of everybody on the roster, he would probably be the most entertaining person with the case. We could get a lot of the fake cash-ins where he runs in and he starts to give the briefcase to the ref, sees the champ starting to get back, and he's like, no, I'm not doing it right now. And a lot of stuff of with JD, him and JD both run in, and the champion lays out JD, and Dom's like, fall back. And I also think it would elevate him back to where he was and a little bit higher. If you look back with the John Cena retirement tour, his thing with Dominick for the Intercontinental title was cool. That got Dominick in the main event scene. I think he's kind of fallen off since then. So I think with the briefcase and getting some entertaining stuff with the briefcase would help elevate Dom to where when he finally cashes in, everybody's excited.
Dom was a name that I was also thinking could win Money in the Bank. I think a lot of people feel like maybe he's a good choice. I've seen people online say that they don't like the direction he's heading in right now. I feel like the reason that the gas hasn't been hit on him so hard is they know that this Money in the Bank win's coming, and they're going to push the metal to the floor and strap their rocket on him, and they don't want to hear people say, oh, he's pushed down our throats. That's why I think, he's kind of become somewhat of a background character lately. I think I already know your answer for this with what you were describing. But do you feel like Dominic needs to win Money in the Bank?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think, like I said, looking at where he was and the whole thing with John Cena and even before that, his Intercontinental title run, to where he is now, the Judgment Day to me is a women's group, and then you have these two guys that are hanger-ons. I don't feel like that's the right use for Dom. I would take him out of the Judgment Day completely. If you want to leave JD, that's fine. But let's get back to that Dirty Dom, the most dangerous prisoner in the yard type of thing. And then, like I said, with the Money in the Bank and being this dirty heel, this dirty chicken shit heel, and he could essentially pull an Eddie Guerrero and steal the WWE or world title. I think that gets him up to that next level, that main event scene. And I think it's time to pull the trigger on him. Let's inject some new blood into that main event. Give me Dirty Dom versus the Tribal Chief. I want Dominic versus all the main event players and stars. Bring the Undertaker back. Put him against Dom. I want all that. So
yeah,
hopefully that's what they do and give it to Dominic.
I think that is why he's took a backseat to Liv Morgan, because they are about to shove him down our throats all the time. Also, I think he does need a briefcase because Obafemi came up and knocked it out the park, which I did think I think Oba's the next mainstream star of wrestling. Braun Breaker. Okay, so Braun Breaker, I've seen people torn. Some people are falling off the wagon with Braun, but I think most would agree it seems like Braun and Oba are ahead of Dom, where at one point it was the three of them, and now it seems like Oba's pulling ahead, Braun's pulling ahead. I think Dominic needs the briefcase to kind of get back on their level. Do you feel that way as well?
Um, I would maybe put Dom above Braun right now. If, at least Dom has a singles title. At least when he goes to AAA, he's kind of the focal point of AAA.
Do you feel like Breaker's a background character in Fission?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like with Dom and Braun Breaker, I think they kind of stumbled on Oba Femi. I think they caught lightning in a bottle with Oba, and they put all their effort and creative and focus on that when they realized like how over he was. And I think they put Dom and Braun in the back seat for later.
Oh, that that makes me, yeah. Like I thought maybe they were cooling on Dom because they knew that they had big plans for him, but yeah, I could see what you're saying, that they were like, "Oh shit, Oba's actually hot as fuck. Let's give him attention."
Yeah, like, oh, this guy blew up. We got to focus on this, and we don't want to screw this up. And then it seems like Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman were kind of heavily invested in Oba too. So I think it's Oba's time now, and I think Braun and Dom got pushed to the back burner. But I think the Money in the Bank briefcase could get Dom back to the forefront. And I've said it before, and I'm going to stand by it until the end of time, basically, is I think that Dom is going to end up being the bigger star out of the three of them. Like, when it's all said and done, I think that Dominic will have the better career and be a bigger star than Oba and Braun.
So Dom was someone I was leaning towards. I also wanted to mention all the good TV that could come from him. You said the chicken shit heel. Like, yeah, it to me that is the choice. That's who WWE should go with. Imagine if Kevin Owens wins the title and Dom cashes in on KO. Like, Kevin Owens comes back from this like career-threatening injury, and Dom cashes in before he could even hold the title. The heat that could draw. I also think that if he cashed in on CM Punk or Cody Rhodes, again, that would get him major heat. I feel like he could do the most with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Having said that, though, to be a contrarian to your pick, and I'm afraid WWE actually will go with this, because part of me thinks that WWE is just Roman Reigns. That's all they see. That's all they care about. And I think that LA Knight will win, only for him to not have a sneak cash in and just call his shot like RVD and Cena did. And Roman Reigns can. I feel like Roman Reigns is about to retcon all his wins that he won by cheating, where he'll start beating guys clean. And it fits with LA Knight's character to me. I feel like he's someone that hasn't looked weak to Roman Reigns, where he would be like, "Oh, I don't have to sneak attack you with a cash in. I'll call my shot and beat you one-on-one." And then he could get a rub where Roman like shakes his hand at the end of the match, like he did with Rollins, like, "Oh, you were tougher than I thought, but I'm the tribal chief. I won without cheating." I Dominic is the best option, I feel like, for TV, for fans. I just think we're gonna get that doesn't line up with Roman Reigns, and I think that's where WWE's focus is on, is Roman Reigns.
I mean, I think it would be cool if it was a not a like sneak cash in, but a call your shot type of cash in. It would almost be like a Wish.com version of Cody winning the Royal Rumble, like when he pointed at Roman. So like when LA Knight wins the Money in the Bank, we all know he's cashing in on Roman, but he's probably going to fall short. But I think it could be cool,
This is a question I had for you, because like talking about it, Dominic's cooler. Dominic seems like it makes the most sense. I just feel like WWE loves Roman. They'll want to do this for Roman. Everything has to be Roman. Would it hurt LA Knight to call his cash in and lose? Like, would he lose fans that way? Would he lose credibility? Or do you think he's fine? His fans are staying no matter what and all that?
Yeah, I don't know if he would lose fans. I think it would get him more sympathy. I think it would, it'd go back to the WWE's dropping the ball with LA Knight, which I personally don't see.
So in a way, you could see that storyline actually helping him go. Like him losing to Roman could give him a rub.
Yeah, I think it would be like Daniel Bryan in like 2013 when he beat John Cena for the title at SummerSlam, and then Orton cashed in and took it from him. And then they had a series of matches, and for some reason the Big Show kept getting involved, and like it was just bad booking, and people were like, they're dropping the ball on Daniel Bryan, they're ruining Daniel Bryan. And then 2014 we got the Yes movement and everything changed. So I mean the booking for LA Knight could be, let's make the fans think we're dropping the ball with him,
And then heat him
and
back
then
up with it.
if the fans
Get behind it.
almost hijack the show like they did with Daniel Bryan essentially.
Well, and your theory about Obafemi, like, you know, being more prominent than Dominic and Braun as WWE saw he was getting a reaction and jumped on it, that leads me to believe that they're listening more and they're recognizing fans and they're rewarding that. Not necessarily trying to drop the ball on people
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, and I think it's a thing of like if LA Knight wins this Money in the Bank and cashes in and is successful, that'll get a huge reaction and it'll be a huge moment. But could it be even bigger if he failed that cash in and then later on down the road won the Royal Rumble and then he won, something like that where it's like there's been a couple times where he's lost to Roman Reigns for the world title, but then he finally does it. Is that going to be a bigger moment? Or, it's, I don't know what to do with LA Knight. I don't really like LA Knight, so. But I could see it planning for the future of let him win this Money in the Bank, but lose the call the shot and lose, and then come back later and try to make him a bigger star and a bigger underdog babyface champion.
And also, in your mind, do you see whoever wins Money in the Bank challenging the other guy, or do you think they'll choose Roman?
I think the beauty of, and that's why I picked Dom, is with, the chicken shit like stealing the world title. I think it works with whoever's holding the world title. I don't know necessarily if you go after Roman Reigns. If I'm looking at it as if I was a professional wrestler and I got this briefcase that guarantees me a shot whenever I want, and you have a guy that held the WWE title for like 4 years and his win-loss record's insane, like I don't know if I'm going to go after that guy. But if on the other show they have a guy who doesn't drink or smoke or take painkillers and he's an old man and he's already shot physically pretty much, I don't know, maybe I'll cash in on CM Punk.
Dominic would be great. I feel when they pushed back Money in the Bank, I felt like Dominic was part of the reason. Like, hey, let's buy our time a little bit more with Dominic. Tell him to get his reps in. Tell him to be prepared. Because once I feel like once Dominic wins Money in the Bank, I think it fits with his character. But also like once he wins, that's it, dude. Like you're Seth Rollins in the Authority. Like you're gonna be on screen all the fucking time. Like be prepared, be ready. He does seem like, I actually think you said that he's gonna be a bigger star than Oba and Braun. He'll go down that. I do think that he could do that. I think he could be on the TV show the whole episode, where I think Braun and Oba have to be like once, maybe twice. Like Dom could actually, be in the whole 3-hour show, be in the whole 2-hour show constantly.
Oh yeah, like just thinking of Dom as the world champion, I think about there was an episode back in the day where Goldberg was getting a shot at Triple H's world title and Triple H was offering money for anybody to take him out. you could build a show around that where Dominic's set to face somebody and he's trying to bribe and swindle people into taking the champion out. Yeah. Also, Dom with the briefcase, like, you could open that briefcase and there's chicken tendies and there's a prison shiv in there and there's a brick. Like, you could do fun stuff like that too.
Now moving on to women's Money in the Bank. Who you leaning towards with that?
Piggybacking off of what I said about Triple H and Goldberg and offering money, I'm going to steal an Evolution storyline. I think you have to go with Roxanne Perez winning the Money in the Bank. And then you can get this story of Liv and Raquel trying to push her to cash in on whoever the WWE Women's Champion is and giving her the spiel of the Judgment Day can run the women's division. We can run the WWE. Liv will be a world champion. You'll be a world champion. Raquel's the Intercontinental Champion. And then ultimately we find out that, Liv treating her bad or talking bad about her behind her back or whatever. And then I would have Roxanne call her shot. And at WrestleMania, we get Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan for the women's world title. I think that's a cool angle, storyline, and match for WrestleMania. And I think Roxanne Perez is somebody that can carry the women's world title like right now and be really good and have great matches.
So there was a couple names that stood out to me. I'm going with Perez as well because I do think that's a storyline WWE will fucking want to do. They will capitalize on it. They'll knock it out the park. I agree with you. I think she's definitely world championship material. She would be great at it. The storyline you're saying with like redoing Evolution, I love that idea. I don't think WWE will miss this, and I think Roxanne will win Money in the Bank. There is two other names that I feel like could take it from her, and that's Lash Legend. I think that they're high on. I also think I don't think she will win, though. I think it's definitely Roxanne. Or the only other name for a storyline that I think WWE might think is equivalent to that is JC Jane. In essence, if you don't go Dominick being the chicken shit heel with Money in the Bank briefcase, I think WWE might go with JC Jane as the woman's version of that. And on SmackDown, I just feel like you can't miss this storyline with Perez and Liv.
Yeah.
To me, that wouldn't. If Roxanne doesn't win, wouldn't that be a dropping the ball moment?
Oh yeah, for sure. Unless you do the actual Evolution thing and she wins the Royal Rumble, and then Liv Morgan tries to push her to challenge the other champion.
Oh, dude, that might actually be cooler if you fucking let her lose Money in the Bank and then you let her win Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and I mean, between Money in the Bank and the Royal Rumble, you could have Liv Morgan kind of dog her out.
Start building it up.
Losing the Money in the Bank. Yeah.
Just thinking about Roxanne and Liv, ultimately, Roxanne has to be the person that takes that title off Liv, right? Like, that would be dropping the ball if they don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Perez is someone that is going to get over, and she's going to get to that top spot eventually anyway. I just think this is a cool way to do it. And you're going to, it's kind of, you're piggybacking off of something that already happened. So, you could play off of it and kind of tweak it a little bit. But, it's a good storyline. So why, piggyback off of something that was actually good and got over and set up a great women's world champion out of WrestleMania with the great storyline.
All right, so we gave our picks for men's and women's Money in the Bank 2026. In the comments, let us know your views on who you think will grab that brass ring.
That's another round of Two Views Wrestling with Tim and Greg. If you like the show, hit follow and share it with a fellow fan. Got a hot take or match request? Send it in. Until next time.